Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm looking. I've got a setup here. I've got three screens so that I'm able to do things at the right time. I wake up this morning with not that much time to change anything, and one of my screens is completely green. I'm like, it's a brand new screen. How does that happen? But anyway, here we are. I hope you are all well. Now, I'll do my best to monitor the questions. I did see somebody said they had a question. I think it was Richard. I'll come back to that if I can answer it. If it's relevant to this webinar, I'll answer it. By the looks of that, that's something you need to get in touch with your. I'm not going to mention it on here, but it's probably something you need to get in touch with your upline for to ensure that you get the correct information. It's not something we would be talking about here on this screen. Sorry, on this webinar. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. It is the top of the hour. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Again, we've already identified that it's 4 a.m. for Ainsley, and she's on here. It's 6 a.m. for me. And of course, we've been doing some pretty late nights, making sure we're getting everything done as well. So, burning the candle at both ends, they would say. But here we are to do this webinar this morning. And look, let's kick right into it. So obviously, new first steps. There's a few changes that are going on at the moment, all for the positive, of course. All working out. I'm just gonna put my laptop on do not disturb because otherwise I'm going to get questions right through this, and we don't want that. So with my phone as well, because the last thing we want is someone to ring us halfway through. So anyway, let's kick into this now. So, first steps in the new economic evolution of the world. So, today, what we're going to go through, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a look at a little bit of a look at the company structure because it has changed just a little bit to what we were used to 6 months ago. And there's reasons for that, and we'll go through the reasons for that because obviously that's also quite important. We're going to have a look at what sort of business we're in, what is the business that we are in, and how you can explain it to other people. We're going to have a look at some back office training just briefly, showing you where you can find statistics, um, how you can utilize the tools that are there, because quite possibly no one's ever explained them to you. I know no one ever explained them to me. I learnt by trial and error, if you like. So we'll go through it. And I'll give you the best I can from that. And then, of course, we'll have a little bit of a look at the marketing plan as well, because it is slightly different to what it used to be. If you weren't aware, it is actually slightly different to what it used to be. So we'll have a look at that as well. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Andrew Hawkes. I've been with the company for a little over 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. I'm a president within the company, within the framework, the marketing plan, if you like. And I'm also a member of the President's Council. I'm a father. I have three beautiful children. My eldest lives in London now. She's very independent and grown her wings. I'm a private investor and co-owner of the Global Investment Portfolio. Of course, we all are involved in that with the Crypto Unit program. I'm a certified Master Profi coach and Genius of Finance facilitator. I've been coaching Master Profis for almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. So pretty excited about that. I've been marketing online for a long time. I've had my share of success, and I've had my share of failures in that time as well. So I've made a little bit of money. I've lost a bit of money, but all through the while, it was enough just to keep me going, and enough for me to continue to push, right? Continue to keep the focus and continue to be where I wanted to be. Now, in 2011, I wrote a little bit of an experience, wrote about my experiences in a book called Rivers of Gold: How to Create Multiple Income Streams. And that basically just shows you how to monetize what's up in your noggin, what your knowledge is, and how to get paid for it. Because, you know, most of us are pretty knowledgeable in at least one or more areas, and we should be monetizing that. So that shows you exactly how to do that. Now, for those of you who don't know who this gentleman is, this is Andre Havrato, our CEO. Of course, he is the author and CEO of the Academy of Private Investor. He created that program in 2011, distilling all of his investment knowledge into a place and a way where people could actually learn it and utilize it and benefit from it. It's all good and well to have the knowledge, but if you're not going to use it and practice it, then what's the point? So he created something very, very unique that we're going to talk a little bit about. And if you're here on this webinar, it's probably because you're involved with the company, because it's not an opportunity webinar. This is a little bit of training and it's things that you need to know or might like to know about the company. Of course, he's CEO of the new group of companies. Freudian slip there, that should have been changed. My apologies on that. He is the author of the Crypto Unit program, of course, which we're all very, very excited about. And guys, this is something that I really want you to take home. He is the master of dream realization. Why do I say that? Because he doesn't take no for an answer. He says, no, there's a way somehow. I'll work out a way. And he continues to meditate on everything that he's doing so that he can manifest those things. Now, of course, he was awarded the Dove of Peace a little bit earlier this year as well. Many, many things going on. Of course, he's just been included in the most 100 influential people in Russia in a anniversary book that this came out. I think they do it every year, but Andre is actually in that book, which is very, very good for us. It shows the standing that he has within the Russian Federation, within Russia, within Ukraine. Now, you don't get into that book if you're not something of substance. So that's something for us to take away and really be proud of for all of us, because it means good things for our program. So,
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, thanks, Siri. Siri's telling me she doesn't understand. That's okay. You don't need to. I'll get rid of that. So, guys, our structure as it stands, and I'll give you a visual representation of this as well. Obviously, Andre is our CEO. He's at the top of the tree. He makes the final decisions on everything. He makes sure that we're moving in the right direction and growing as a company the way we should be. And that really is the CEO's role. It's exactly what he should be doing. Now, under the CEO, we've got a few sub-departments, okay? And this is where it goes. It goes to the CEO, and then it goes to these departments. The first of which is the President's Council. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the President's Council is made up of 10 presidents from around the company. I think it'll only have ever a maximum of 11. I believe Andre may even make up that 11th. But there's only ever going to be that maximum in there. So it's not going to be saturated with people not being able to make a decision. But essentially what that is that final point of discussion. So everything that happens within the company, if there's something happening further down the line and somebody in the network says, oh, we need this, and it goes up, and I'll explain that in a second, and it goes up and it gets to the President's Council, we'll sit and we have a conversation. We have a meeting every Monday night to discuss everything that goes on. Now, these meetings do go on into the wee hours of the morning, certainly for me, over in the Northern Hemisphere. Then it'll go on late into the day, into the afternoon. But that's where things get discussed and broken down and pushed out to the different departments that I'm going to mention next. Obviously, there's the directors as well. Now, there's a number of directors around the country. There's directors, around the world. There's directors of countries, and there's also directors of departments. So I'll give you a example. Igor Korson is the director of the IT department. But so that brings us into, we have the IT department, right? The directors all have their own little group as well that often have discussions about different things also that then get presented backwards and forwards between the Presidential Council. We've got the IT department. They take care of making sure that our website doesn't get attacked. Well, actually, if it does get attacked, it keeps those people out and that we do the right things. We've got very, very good security. We've had multiple DDoS attacks. If you're not sure what a DDoS attack is, it's a direct denial of service. We've had multiple of those attempted, but never ever succeeded because we've got pretty good protocols in place to make sure that can't happen. So our IT department's doing what they need to do. Of course, we've got the newly formed investment department. Prior to that, it was really just Igor and Andre getting together and making sure that they had, Igor would bring something to Andre and say, this is what we've got. And Andre go, yep. He'd assess it and say, that's good for us. No, it's not. However, it worked out. But now we actually have a dedicated department that looks after that. And of course, Igor Romanenko is the head of that department. Okay. We've got the education department, which is, of course, Antonina Kianovsky, and she's the head of that department. And of course, Annette Matansone is in there as well, particularly with the Master Profi side of things. Now, if you're not sure who Antonina is, she is the co-author of the game Genius of Finance, of course. Her and Andre put that together, and she's very, very passionate about that with good reason, and delivered quite a good coaching call, I believe, last week to the Genius of Finance coaches. Of course, we've got an accounting department. They make sure that all the beans stack up, so to speak. They make sure that the money goes where and how it should be. So finance and accounting. And of course, then we've got our support department. They're the online support, but we've also, particularly in Moscow, we've actually got a call center where people can call into and get the support as well. So that's possibly something that could happen in different regions rolling out further down the track. We do have the Leadership Council under the President's Council. So we've got CEO, President's Council, Leadership Council. What happens from the President's Council is that everything that gets discussed then gets disseminated to the Leadership Council. And there's about 35 people on that currently, from all around the world, all multiple different languages. As I'm sure you can appreciate, that brings together its own challenges. And it's a good thing, right? Because this is now helping us to learn different ways of communication and making sure that we're getting everything in the right way. And then, of course, from the Leadership Council gets passed down to the local council, which have now been formed in most of the countries since Eventi. I can speak here for Australia. I know there's 11 people on the council in Australia. There's a number from New Zealand and a few from Malaysia. We all actually get together regularly also, and which has started this week, to discuss what needs to happen in the network. Now, this goes both ways, guys. So not only does it come from the top down, it comes from the bottom up. So under the local council, we have all of our network. And if there's issues going on in the network issues, somebody needs to, there's a question before from Richard, right? Somebody wants to do something with their account, then you need to go through that local council. That gets escalated to the Leadership Council, so on and so forth. But there's a clear line of communication. Now, why has this been set up this way? It's been set up this way because there was too many things getting lost, too much lost in translation with the too many different communication channels that we had. So we're trying to streamline it. Now, have we got it absolutely perfectly right yet? No, probably not. But we are literally pioneering the way here. We're paving the way forward. So we don't expect to have it perfect straight out of the gate. We've got to put it together. We've got to massage it a little bit and make sure that we iron out the kinks, which is exactly really what we're doing here. Now, if we would get a visual representation of that, this is pretty much how it looks. CEO, departments, Leadership Council, local council, and what should also be in there is the Academy of Private Investor, a crypto unit, and overall the new economic evolution of the world. And guys, there's reasons for that we've already touched on briefly. And I'm sure, and at the end of this webinar, you'll be able to get the link to that. I'm sure if you jump onto the webinar at the end of the month, the summary webinar from Andre on the 30th, we'll probably get a lot more information about that. I'd imagine that webinar is probably going to be quite full from people. So the new economic evolution of the world, guys, this is what we're doing, right? So people ask, oh, what business are you in? And straight away now, when people say, and I've been saying it for quite some time, when people say, oh, well, what do you do? Well, I'm implementing the new economic evolution of the world. Really? What's that? That automatically starts to conjure up questions for them because nobody's heard that. That's a totally different paradigm. If in the old days you turn around somebody and go, oh, what do you do? Well, I show people how to make money and diversify their income. Well, that's interesting too, but a lot of people go, you're an MLM. If you say, hey, look, I'm actually implementing the new economic evolution of the world, that will probably spark up more of a conversation because they've never heard that before. It's something very, very different, something to consider there. But of course, we're aimed at making it possible on Earth to become co-owners of this global portfolio that we have. Now, I was lucky enough yesterday to actually voice over a video that's coming out for Master Profit. It's just a short trailer, essentially. It's about 3 minutes long. But in that trailer, I can tell you that Andre says, this is the only, Master Profit specifically, is the only training of its type worldwide that offers an exclusive bonus from the Academy of Private Investor and the Crypto Unit program. And of course, you might go, well, yeah, it's because that's our company. Yeah, but what he was getting at is that there's no other training that actually provides the value like that. So there's no other training that gives you access to or co-ownership in a global portfolio of its size and breadth, if you like, because it's a very, very well diversified portfolio that is growing, as we know. And we've seen it grow. We've witnessed that grow this year, which has been amazing. It's been incredibly exciting. So we are in the business of education. We are showing people how to get their money to work for them. And this is the biggest thing we need to take away. This is something that was really ingrained in me very early on in the piece for this company. I remember specifically, vividly watching a video or watching a webinar, rather, it was live, that Mila Sergeyeva did, and where she stated what we could and what we couldn't say. That video is still around. It probably needs a little bit of an update, but it is still around. But the really big thing that I took away from is when people ask you what you do, guys, we're in education. That should be the first thing that you say. There shouldn't be any mention of any innovative transport solutions. There shouldn't be any mention of getting dividends. There shouldn't be any mention of a global portfolio. Certainly not first up. because education is primarily what we do. Now, the reason we do that is because you can give you can give people money, right? You can give people all the money in the world. If they don't know how to manage and work it and grow it and maintain it, they will lose it 95% of the time. The 5%, they're probably the same 5% that would have made it regardless of whether you gave it to them or whatever. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Lottery winners, and you can look up these statistics. I'm not making them up. Lottery winners, 95% of them have lost as much, if not more, than what they won within 3 to 5 years of winning it. Some people even sooner. Within 3 to 5 years, they've lost it and more. And most of them will tell you, I wish I'd never done it, because they didn't know how to manage it. People come to them and say, "Oh, you got $1 million. Can I borrow 100,000?" We've been friends for ages. Boom. Right? Because we haven't been taught. And this is why the importance of education. That's what the business we're in. We're in the business of assisting people to have their dreams come true and creating prosperity for them. But we do that through education, through sound education. And here's just an example of that. The 8 rules of the private investor right here. We've got to know the difference between financial independence and financial freedom. Now, if you're sitting there going, well, aren't they the same thing? Then you definitely need to plug in and do a Master Profit, because they are very different. The difference between financial freedom and the financial independence could be literally decades, right? This is the difference. This is the distinctions that we need to make. You need to know the 5 commandments, the first of which is one that's age old. Pay yourself first. Put a minimum of 10% of your money away each and every month or week or fortnight, depending on however you get paid, but put at least that away and put it into something that's going to continue to grow for you. I won't go through all the 5 commandments, but define your financial plan. Most people don't have a financial plan. And if they don't, and what the old saying is, if you don't plan, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's how that saying goes. So if we don't have a financial plan, it's not because we don't want to do things. It's just we haven't planned to do it. So by default, we've actually planned to fail. So we create we create everything in our world, in our being, everything. Now, if something bad's happening, you've created that on some level as well. That's really hard to come to terms with sometimes. I know, I struggle with it too. But what I'm getting at is we create it either through our actions or our inactions. So if we're flat broke right now, we've created that through our inactions probably, or through our focus, because what we focus on expands and continues to grow. So if we're focusing on having no money, guess what? We're going to have more of that. If you start focusing on abundance and prosperity, guess what? You're going to start having more of that. Of course, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify where you can. Keep investment discipline. Now, this is something really, really important as well, obviously. And guys, this is our education, right? If we can get these 5 commandments and the 8 rules down pat, and if we understand them, own them, and live them, doesn't matter about the other things. It doesn't matter about when the profit payments come, when the dividend payments come. It doesn't matter about any of that. The reason being is because you've got everything you need. You can actually put this into practice and generate income. And I don't know if anyone saw the hot seat that we did last night, or that Annie and Haran did last night for Master Profit. But there, I said, in the last 18 months, I've managed to have 1,000% return just by utilizing the principles that are available in the Master Profit course and what we're talking about just here. So don't be greedy. Always learn. And what to always learn? Always learn to earn more. That doesn't mean go out and get another job, but always learn how different strategies, different ways in which you can get your money to work for you. That is really, really, really important. And of course, always increase your investment deduction. So always putting more money away. Now, guys, I'm just going to stop the screen share for a second, because what I want to do now is I want to bring this over. Hopefully this is still working. Bear with me for a second. It is. So I'll share this again now. All right, just let me know if you can see that screen. Oops, you can't see it now because I stopped it. My apologies. I was looking for something else. I was looking for this. Yes, awesome, Ainsley. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. So this, let's just go through a little bit of our back office. Hopefully this isn't new for you. I'm pretty sure that you'll have all been in here before. Now, this is the back office for my eldest son. And what I want to take you through is just a few things where everything is. Now, I'm going to focus specifically on our CRU tab because that's really the most pertinent for us. Now, I'm just going to answer a question here that comes up a little bit. Why have we all of a sudden gone away from innovative transport and now just concentrating on crew? Here's the reason. We get a much, as a company, as putting more into it, we actually get a better discount. Okay, so we actually get a better deal by putting everything through the crypto unit program. Now, the beauty of that is that even people into the future, once we're past stage 15, and remember, we're not talking about that anymore, but let's say we're now implemented the innovative transport solutions or technologies. Once we're past that, people will still be able to get co-ownership in it. So that's kind of why we're at where we're at with that. And I think it's quite exciting. So first thing I want you to note is obviously this is where you're going to start taking people is into the EIPs. Okay. There's a number of different packages in there, but there's also packages on this side. Now I want you to note this one right here, the EIP of the gold coin. You get 80,000 units with it. There's 322 left. These will inevitably sell out. Now these are a commemorative coin. They're a representation, and if you understand the ideology behind it, these things are about 35 grams of gold each, these coins. And you might go, well, I'm doing the math on that and it doesn't work out. No, but the intrinsic value of it. Here's the thing. Andre, his goal is to have every one of the crypto units to be worth the same as one of these coins. Imagine that. Imagine 5-10 years down the track, you've got one of these commemorative coins. You go, yep, this is literally worth one of those. It's quite exciting when you start to think about all of those things. Obviously, the fundamentals, of course, right here. People have been asking about this. Is currently $1,970. The question came up yesterday about this. That but we've already got. It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. We've already got our 8 rules, and we had that included in Master Profit. Why are we now paying for it different? This is a separate course. This is the course that actually gets you accreditation as an investment consultant within the company. So this means you'll be able to work under the company's license. If you want to be an investment consultant, potentially get paid by the company to do it, then this is the course that you actually need to do. And the last I heard about that was that December, that training was supposed to be coming out in English. So coming back here, obviously, one of the most important tabs in your back office is this one. It is the news tab. Now, this is where you want to get this is where all the information will be posted. Now, any information that you can share is from here. So don't post information from other websites. This is where you get the information from. If this links you to another website, then by all means, you probably can share that. But share it from here primarily first. But come in every day, check out what's going on. Obviously, there's a good report in here about the CRU. A little bit of a discussion about Sushi Master and our other investments in there. Announcements of educational webinars. So guys, if you're wondering when all the webinars are, come in. Obviously, these are the Russian ones. Underneath, you got webinars in English and Spanish. Apparently, I'm the only one in there at the moment for the English, but that's all right. We can fill these up, right? If you're doing webinars, then they need to be in here. But of course, all the reports and everything come through in here as well. Now, I said I'd mention statistics. So let's go have a look at that, because this is incredibly exciting and quite powerful when you start to break it down. So maybe you want to, once you've completed Master Profit, you actually get a sheet that will help you with this, but you want to see what's going on in your company, in your particular organization. So let's have a look at the regional report first. There's lots of things you can change in here. You can look at the current month. You can go from all time. You can choose a date range. So maybe you want to see specific performance for a specific period of time. So current month, why not? There's probably not a lot of activity in here this month for this account, to be honest. No, there's none. There's not enough data to make a diagram. So if I show you here and I go all time, for all time, you'll be able to see the little diagrams that come up down here and tell you where everything is. So you can see in this here, there's 29 registrations in Australia, 22 in New Zealand, 5 in Thailand, 5 in India, 5 in the Emirates, 3 not specified, 2 in the Philippines, 2 in the US, 1 in Japan, Nepal, and 1 in others. So you can literally see where everybody is broken down. You can see the concentration of where your business is. So maybe that's something you go, okay, man, I've actually developed a really, really big team in, so where are we? So Thailand, right? He hasn't got a huge team, but let's say Harlan was looking at this and he says, man, I've got 5 people in Thailand. I wonder if I could increase that. So he might start doing his marketing, gearing his marketing towards that because he wants to do more in that area. He might not have even realized that he had 1 in Japan. Okay, so they might not be direct to him. They're probably at depth somewhere, more than likely. So he might look at that and go, wow, I've actually got people in Japan. Maybe I should try and get in touch with them, okay, through the network and see what we can do to get something happening in that area. So there's really, really important stats in here. You can also see your overall bonus units. So if you want to know what you've earned each month, you can actually come into here and put your date for the current month, and it'll tell you. If you want to do it for last month, then it'll tell you what that is as well. You can also see the result of your structure here from your first level or from beyond. As a result. So you can actually go within different periods there for registrations to see as well. This is just one of the accordion tools that we've got that assists you with that. Now, if we come into general information right here, you can see your personal result. There's 129 there. His partner's results, these are clicks, right, on the accounts. And the attracted investments, 15,000 in his personal result and 17,000 from his network. Okay, so you can see the personal result has got 8 people on his front line, so on and so forth. You can come through and have a play with all of these guys. It's all there for you to have a look at. I suggest if you haven't looked at it before to definitely go through and check it all out. Because it's really, really good tools that you can use in there. Partner rewards. So you can see what, if you wanted to go through and put in a specific date, you can do exactly that. You can show the 365 days, which is the whole lot, and you can see what's happening within your bonus account at what levels. Now, why is that important to see at what levels? Because when you're looking at what levels, you go, okay, man, well, there's a lot of activity on my 4th level coming through. Let's find out where that is, okay? Now, without coming to here, you wouldn't know whether it was from your 4th level or not. The accruals history, that one's sort of self-explanatory. It tells you what sort of money's come in from where, from what levels, so on and so forth. But this one, this layer report, this is the one that kind of excites me, particularly when your organization starts to get quite large. And you can see here, it says show 1. So if I do that, it's showing 1, right? It's showing this here. Now, if I say I want to have a look at 4, I go click do. You can see what is on each level. So there's 129 click-throughs on level 1, and he's got for a result of 8 people actually in there, okay? 66 on level 2 with a result of 7 on his 2nd level, 10 on his 3rd level, and 17 on his 4th. Now, I know this says 1, 2, 3 here. What I'm getting at, this is frontline. 0 is your frontline. 1 is your first level, so that kind of makes more sense, really. But it's your levels down that you want to start looking at there. You can get all sorts of data out of here. This goes right through to 10. So if you've got people below your 10th level, what you need to do is you go, okay, if I've got people on my 15th level, obviously this doesn't go to 15. You might say, I'm going to start at 6 and then click do. I'm not going to do that for this particular example because I can tell you there's not people on the 16th level. I'll show you what I mean. It just comes through in 0, right? But this is how you see right down to your 15th level. You'd hit 6. If you've got people at level 20, then you'd probably hit 10, and that'll take you down 20 levels. But that's, again, quite important. I want to take you over to structure now because this is quite a useful tool as well. Obviously, you've got structure and you've got the old reporting structure. If you just want to have a look at your tree and what's going on with that, then obviously you click on old report structure, and you can fan that out simply by clicking plus, and it opens it all up in there for you to see. And if you've got other people, where have we got one here? We got that one there. We can open that out, and it shows the structure and everything in there. That's your old structure. So that's essentially the only tree view you're going to get. But if we come back to what the default is when we land on that page, this is kind of how it looks. So you can literally search for people by full name. You can use their login. If you know someone's phone number, you can search by that. If you know their email or their Skype, you can search by that. You can also choose from a date range. So if you went, oh, let's see who's registered this year. You might not even need to put in a name for that. I've never tested this, so let's have a look. We'll see what happens. But I've never put a name in there. These are all the people that have registered in that time frame. So maybe you don't know, the name or anything, but you know that they registered in the last 5 days. So you can sit and go, okay, I'm going to choose a date range. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, okay, where are we? What's the date today? It's 22nd. So I'm going to go from the 18th to the 22nd. Now I can tell you there's been no registrations in this account on that time, but I'm looking for someone that's registered that time. I'm going to hit apply and it'll tell me, okay, there's no one registered during that time. Oh, there must have been somewhere else. So guys, this is important. This is something that you can use. Period. Again, you can, that's to narrow down your searches. Registration. Now you can look at the people you've got personally involved or the people that are involved that have got people on their first level. So this is how you can start to see if people are active, right? So I've registered someone. I just want to see if they're doing something. So amount of registered by structure without first level. You get the picture. Status, you can actually choose. So I want to go through and I want to have a look at everyone who's got vice president rank. It's not going to happen in this account because he doesn't have it. But what I can do, I'll show you. I was thinking I had a brain fart for a second. I thought it was in my account. So I could go through and I could look at the managers. Let's have a look at the leader managers. So click on leader managers in this account and it'll tell me, it's because of one of the settings I did, sorry. Where is it? Status, leader manager, apply. So you do have to be careful of those. No. You do have to be careful of those filters that you put in. I know there's leader managers in the structure. There has to be. There's 2, but it's not showing up for some reason. So we can see that they are there. Let's have a look for the managers. There you can see the managers in there. So that'll give you an idea. Now, if you want to go, okay, so now we're looking at these people and we know now, guys, obviously, and we'll go through this in a second as well, with the marketing plan, essentially reverting back to needing 4 people on each level until you get to a certain level. For these people here to get to leader manager, they need to have 4 managers in their organization on 4 different lineages. So they either have 2 frontline and 2 at depth, but across 4 lineages, or they can have them all on their frontline if they want to. So what you can do is you can come in here and you say, okay, well, we know they've got 2 people registered on their frontline. So let's have a look at that. They've got 4 agents at depth. They've got 2 consultants. So looking at this, I'm going to say, well, this person is not necessarily close to getting to leader manager. But what would I have to do? I'd have to find them. They've already got 2 consultants at their first level. They've got 4 agents. Okay. Now they're probably going to be in these lineages. So I'm going to have to help this person get another 2 lineages working to get them to leader manager. But this gives you an idea of where everyone is. Okay. They've got them on their front line. Now there's no one on their front line, no agents on their front line in this. So maybe they need to look at start building people on their front line. They have got 4 agents at depth. Now, again, it's likely in under their consultants, they've got 2 consultants frontline. Now, it doesn't show there because it's not under their consultants, right? They don't have consultants at depth. Now, if they had 2 consultants at depth, they may well be moving up. Make sense? So this is something that you can use, a tool that you can use to go, okay, well, where do I need to go to next? You can have a look at what location they're in. So I know we've got what we say we had. Let's see. We've got one in Japan. Let's have a look. See what that is. I might have to I'll have to reset this because the status in there is still manager. Go geographically Japan. There you go. Of course, Eureka. So she's in there, right? So you can look at it from different. So now I can look at this and go, well, I might be able to get in touch with this person. I know they're in Japan. This is where I want to start building. So that's what you can start using that for. Use these geographical reports to find out exactly who those people are so you can start talking to them. I'll clear that. But come in, have a play around these. Now, something in here, here's, okay, so maybe you want to see all of those people who are unverified in your account. So activation status all, what does that mean? It means everybody that has opened account, regardless of whether they have activated their account or not. So let's change that and go activated. That means the people that have clicked the link in their account and actually opened their back office, and non-verified people. So let's have a look at that. There's probably a heap in here. But this is how you can go, okay, well, these people are non-verified. I need to get in touch with Trent. I need to get in touch with Therese. All these people. Need to get in touch with these people to assist them. Maybe they're having trouble. And this is where you step up now and look after your team and go, well, maybe they're having trouble in registering. So we are not registering, in verifying. So you go through and assist them in verifying their accounts. So that's how you can find out all of that information. Obviously, guys, partner tools here. This is a little sparse at the moment, and it will fill out more. But obviously, we have all of these great landing pages. These are the ones in English. If you are looking for something in a different language, then check out the languages in here. There's Spanish, there's Russian, Deutsch, which is German, obviously, Italian. I don't know all of them, to be honest. So, but you will, if that's your language, then you'll know which one is yours. Go through, check it out. Maybe you need to send something to someone in that might be Kazakhstan, I'm not sure. Maybe you need to send something in Spanish. Okay, so you go and click Espanol, and you'll see that these come up in Spanish, so you can send those out to them. For me, obviously, I speak English, so you can bring it up here. Now, these links and everything, I know people have been asking this about, oh, but what about the URLs? Do they change? Yes, they will be changing. There is another URL that we have got that's coming in that is all new related. Let's put it that way. So partner tools, again, coming back here, we've got some documents in here that we can check out as well. The bonus plan, which we're going to go through, I've got a little bit of a visual representation for that. I can show you this document. It's not visual. So if you're a visual type person, it will be difficult for you to get through, but you will get through it. It does explain it all well. Of course, the memorandums in here as well. And this document, how to make a last will and testament for your shares. So unfortunately, we have had quite a few people that have left us on this journey. So we need to know how to make sure that we protect that for them and being able to pass on to the right people. So that's quite important. Office branding, for those of you who've got big ambitions of opening an office, everything you need is in the back here. Although I would suggest the New Economic Evolution of the World, you've probably seen that one. If there's anything in here that mentions the old paradigm that we were called, then obviously we don't use that. These will be updated, but that's where you find all of those things. Now, something I didn't mention when I came into news, you can see here active promotions. You can see what promotions are actually going on. So come in and check these out, because there may be promotions going on that you have no idea about. I know that was the case for me. Now, when I first got started, this promotion here that's been going on for quite some time, I had no idea about, but I actually managed to create X amount of agents and X amount of consultants, and I ended up with this extra money in my in my account. I'm like, where did this money come from? So make sure you come and check these out, because the bonus, the promotions will be in there, and you want to miss you want to make sure that you get them, not miss them. So webinar recordings, if there's any webinars, that's taken us straight to YouTube, but that's, if you click on that, it will take you to YouTube, and you'll be able to see all webinar recordings that are there. And of course, webinars and events, this is where the calendar, and you can see they're now starting to get populated quite well, which is awesome. This says, okay, this is the webinar that we're on right now. You'll note that for me, it says the 22nd. In Europe, it's still the 21st. So be careful of that. If you're doing webinars and it states that it's this, make sure that you save it in your calendar, because most calendars will default to your time zone, so you'll know exactly when those are. So that's a good little tip for you. If people go, well, what time zone is that in? Save it, because most webinars, particularly Zoom or anything for that matter, allow you to save it into your calendar, whether it's a Google Calendar, whether it's Microsoft, whether it doesn't matter, whether it's Apple. If you save it into your calendar, it will save in your time zone. So for instance, you click on that training, the first steps, which is this webinar here, earlier in the week, you click on it and go, oh, that's on Thursday night. Now, if you're in Australia, you click on it and go, it saves in your calendar as being Friday morning. Like, oh, how does that work? But that will tell you when the webinar is. Unless somebody's input it wrong into the back end when they're setting it up, that'll tell you exactly when the webinar is. So that's your best way to go in that respect. But that's where you find out what's going on, other than the news, obviously. But that's where you find out the upcoming events. And there'll be webinars and events. There'll be live events that'll be put into here as well. So guys, I'm just going to stop that share for a second, and I'm going to open up a, just let me find it because it's only just come in this morning. End that. Okay. Bear with me. Open recent. That's it right there. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to expand this to the full screen. Just let me know if you can see that though, please. Yep, awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so the crypto unit bonus spread. I'll work on getting. There's a few things that still need to be ironed out from this. And when I say that, is there's a lot of information on too many slides. So we'll get that ironed out and try and get it uploaded to the back office for everyone. But this is a visual representation of the program of the PDF that's in the back office that's there right now. So it does talk a little bit about the terminology. Obviously, it's really just taken that PDF and put it into a slide deck. But all the terminology you need in here. But what I want to highlight here is when you're at client rank, basically there's no real qualifications. You're not really doing anything. The client rank is really somebody that's opened an account and done zero. So if you find people that are clients then on your front line, then you may be able to get in touch with them. If they're not on your front line, you'll find it difficult to get their contact information. But if they're on your front line, then you can get in touch with them. I know my account, every now and then I'll look at my front line and it'll grow and I won't know why. But I'll be able to go into that front line and get the phone number or the email address, and I'll be able to give them a call or be able to send them an email, introduce myself, start a conversation. Now, you might go, well, why would you do that? So I'm just going to plug this in before we lose power. Good thing I noticed that. Why would you do that? Well, because they've signed up for your opportunity. That's why. And if you don't follow them up, then there's no money in it. If you follow them up, they may not do anything, but they may. And I can tell you on more than one occasion, I've followed those people up that have registered themselves and they've done something with the company. In fact, one of them was at Eventi just recently. So guys, it's really, really important to do that. So that's what you're looking at. Investor rank. These are somebody that actually has put money in. So they've done more than just register partner. These people are active. They're now out building the business. Okay. They're going out to see people. They'll get 8% from their personal sales. They'll get 5% from their second and 3% from their third level. Again, there's a lot of pages in here. That's why I was just going to open it this way. Once we get past the partner, the next one is agent, as I'm sure most of us all know. Hopefully I'm not telling you the suck eggs here. But to get to agent, all you need is 2 partners on your front line. Now, we just come off the back of a really, really amazing incentive or express promotion, right, where we could rank advance pretty quickly. And now we are back to the old one. Now, whether this changes or not in the future, it may not. But what we have is this. So this is what we do. It's no point in saying, oh, but no, we've got to use what we have in front of us. If it changes in the future, awesome. We run with those changes. If it doesn't, then we work with what we have, because remember, we create our reality. We literally create our reality with our actions or our inactions. I already mentioned it before. So agent rank, where am I? Come back here. 8% from your first 7, 4, and 3. Okay. This does actually open up your 4th level as soon as you hit agent. But of course, we want to go further than that. We want to get to the consultant because it opens us up from 6 to infinity. Now, here's something that is incredibly different from the old plan. Okay, once we get to that 5th level there, 3%, no worries. We get from 2% to 3.5% from your 6th level. Now in the old plan, it's from 1.3%. Okay, and it doesn't go as high as 3.5. I think it's 1.3 to 2% in the old plan. So this. And this is a question somebody asked me the other day. Well, what if we want to go for that? Well, you could go for that, but why wouldn't you want to go where you're going to get a better benefit? These are questions you need to ask yourself, particularly if you're talking to people that want to build a business as well. You say, well, do you want to make more money? That's the way you'd go. You'd go down that path, and it's more lucrative for everyone anyway in the long term. So that's the consultant status. And as I say, there's like 5 pages of consultants. That's why I'm just running through it this way here. Manager status, you can see here, guys, we're back to that old plan. You need to have 4 consultants, okay? 4 consultants total. They don't all have to be frontline to you. Only 2 of them must be frontline. The rest can actually be at depth. This illustrates that 3 are frontline. They can all be frontline if you want, but that will get you to manager. Of course, that does open you up now from 4 to 5.5%. So you're always increasing that money at depth when you do that by ranking up. So there was a lot of people that were asking towards the end of that advanced promotion or the express promotion. They're saying, well, what's the advantage in ranking up? Well, because when you start building a team, you might have someone that runs. You might have one person that just runs and gets them down to 16 levels. They may only get to consultant, but they've got a team that runs. Well, if you're not a manager, then you only get 3%. If you are a manager, then you get 4. That makes a difference, particularly if somebody's putting in, $4,000. It makes a difference, believe me. So that's why you'd would have wanted to have done that. So that's the manager status. I'm getting through these because I want to show you there are a few differences to the old plan. So leader manager, again, we're now from 6 to 7%. So there's 10% available in this 6th level and beyond, whereas in the old plan there was only 8. Okay, where am I? Oh, leader manager, you got to have 4 managers. Like 2 must be frontline to you. The rest can be at depth, but they've got to be across 4 lineages. Now, when we start to change, we're not quite there yet, but we're close. When we get to the top manager status, we still need 4 leader managers. Okay. That indicates that they need to be frontline, but they actually 2 frontline, 2 at depth. And if you read the document, and it'll be in here somewhere, probably back here, 2 personally attracted leader managers and 2 managers on the 3rd and 4th level or anywhere, right? But across 4 lineages, that's the important part. Now, here's where we start to get a little bit different, I believe. No, we're still the same for top manager. We still need 4. That's what we were just talking about. But now, once we get into president's advisor, where is it? Sorry, I only received the slide deck this morning, as I didn't have a chance to get through it properly yet. So that's no, I'm trying to find the right page for you. Yeah, it is. Oh, too far. As soon as you have 2 personally attracted president's advisors, you become president. But we're talking about to get president's advisor. We need. Oh, there it is. 2 top managers is what you need frontline to get to president's advisor. So this has changed from what the old bonus plan used to be, the old marketing plan. You literally needed 4 people, 4 top managers to get to that status. And they did change it. So that's quite a good thing as well. So, under the old system, you needed literally 30-odd thousand people to get to president. Under this, you'll probably need about 8 or 9,000 under this system. So very, very exciting. Again, I'll make this available. I'll try and get it up in the back office for everyone. President status. Guys, that was another good thing about the promotion is that you only needed 13,000 units to get there. But once you get to president, it's a little bit different. Where is it? It's necessary to attract 2 president's advisors, 1 personally invited and 1 can be at depth. So that's kind of exciting too. So it means that you don't have to have 2 presidents frontline, because I know that a lot of people go, oh, president's frontline, how am I going to do that? No, sorry, president advisors. You only need 1 and 1 at depth, and you will you will hit the rank of president, which is very, very cool. All right, I'm going to stop that share. Gone through the marketing train plan. I'm going to have a look at a few of these questions now, guys. Arthur, yeah, I'll get that available to everyone. I'll just go through and double check it and make sure that it's right, because as I said, I got it at literally 5 to 6 this morning. That was 5 minutes before the webinar started. The consultant slide back. I'll get it out to everyone, Janet. I promise. You can go through and have a look at the video and pause it anyway. It is live streamed in the new Asia Pacific group. So if you, yeah, that's right. It says that in there, Ainsley, that you need 4 on the other levels. So you can go back and watch that video and pause where you need to. Full screen wouldn't have shown you much more, to be honest. No, that's in the back office. That's not correct, Ainsley. You can talk to me privately about that. I'm just going through and having a look at some of these questions now on the live stream, guys. No worries, Dev. Thank you. No worries, Chrissy. Lynn, the reason for that is because it doesn't happen overnight. It wasn't something that was foreseen. It was something that was dropped in our lap on Tuesday. So we're working as fast as we can. The IT department is working as fast as they can to get that rectified. But right now, that's just what it is. It will happen. Cool. Just looking at that last one. Hey, Drew, hope you're well. All right, guys, if there's no other... It can be across both. It can be across both. But so we should be looking, we should primarily be looking at CRU now, but it can be across both at the moment because there's no special promotion going on. So hopefully that helped. All right, there's no other new questions coming through. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here with me today, this morning, tonight, wherever it is, whatever time it is for you in the world. I'm going to toddle off now and try and have some coffee. I haven't even had coffee yet this morning. That's not bad for someone that hasn't had coffee, right? So thanks for being here with us. This video is available in the new Asia Pacific group. We'll do what we can about getting it ripped out of there and put up on YouTube as well. Have an amazing day. You absolutely deserve it. See you guys at the top. And I look forward to hearing all your success stories at the next event. Take care, guys. See ya.